So I was last night I thought of a great idea of something that I wanted to make a blog about because it's something that's kind of always been very important to me, and so I write it down with intention of making a blog about it this morning, which is what I'm doing. But before I came to sit down and write the blog, I was on YouTube looking at watching my subscribed videos and things, and I watched Crossmac, and he made a response to Just Me Naked, and he touched on some of the same things, and I thought that was kind of, I don't know, it's just interesting for me that the same idea was happening at the same time I was thinking about it. But so anyway, he's talking about how media, I don't want to say media, video games, computer games, forms of entertainment through gaming consoles are inhibiting our way of communicating with the world. There's a huge percentage of our population is unable to have their own imagination about things. They don't stimulate their own minds. They just watch entertainment all the time, and they're always seeking new forms of entertainment through video and movies and computer games and blah blah blah. So anyway, that's what he's talking about, and how they cut themselves, like that older generation, the 20-year-old, 25-year-olds, are responding by trying to stimulate any kind of emotion or entertainment in their lives. They start to cut themselves, and they don't know how to entertain themselves. And it's something that I've noticed ever since, I remember grade 6 was when it really started to piss me off, because that was when they started to censor our playgrounds. And by that I mean, we used to have this awesome pole. It was just a pole in the middle of our playground, and it had little metal handlebars, like 6 or 7 of them, and if you just ran around, you could become like a human tetherball and just fly, your feet weren't touching the ground, and you just spin and spin and spin. One kid fell off, got himself a bloody nose, and they took the damn thing down. I was pissed off. Or those slider things that you zing, like you just hold on and you just zing down. Well, one kid broke his finger because he wasn't paying attention when he got to the end, so they took that thing down. And then eventually, by the end of my grade 6 year, the whole damn playground was a big blob of Fisher-Price plastic. There was nothing interesting left except all the stuff to climb on, and it wasn't even allowed to be that high in case, heaven forbid, some kid fell down and got a bruise. And that's when it started to first piss me off. No merry-go-rounds, because some kid could fall off. But, okay, so I understand the whole parents worry about their kids and the school is liable and all that stuff. But my grandparents, even my parents, their summers were spent out in the apple orchard, or skipping down alongside rivers, and climbing old farming machinery, and staying out all hours of the day on tire swings, or jumping into rivers and lakes on a rope. Reckless, hazardous things, but nobody really died. I mean, of course there's stories about some people dying, but at the same time they learned to experience the world that way. They understood the way that their body works because they were using it. They were getting exercise. They understood the world, the nature, and it's not always just getting outside. It's just finding some form of entertainment for yourself. Even playing with dolls is a creative game. But I'm a nanny, and I was taking care of the 9-year-old girl before I moved to this new home, and she was incapable of playing dolls. She had lots of dolls, and she always held the dolls when she watched Barbietopia on television, or Teletubbies, or all of those crap TV shows that are on anymore. Whatever happened to Sesame Street? Sesame Street was good quality children's television. I learned my ABCs off Sesame Street. Count Dracula and the Cookie Monster, all that. That was good stuff. But now, like, Teletubbies, what the hell is that? I hated that show. But it was huge when I was in grade 7. And I don't know. My little sister watched that, and she's 200 pounds heavier than me, and is one of those people that could end up cutting herself one day because she's looking for some sort of stimulation. something to entertain her, because she does not know how to find that in herself. And I just really wish that, I can't say wish because that's so past tense, it doesn't matter. I just think it's so sad that the new generation of children are so pampered that their reality is censored. Even like a good old hayride in the middle of, for Christmas time, they don't do those unless the kids are strapped in now. I don't know if it's like that everywhere in the world, but I know in Canada everything is so censored, and they're so worried about the protection of our kids that kids are getting measly. Like, I read a lot of classical novels, and a lot of times the weakling in the story, like I'm reading Wuthering Heights right now, and there's a boy in it who is pampered. He stays indoors. Or like, here's one that everybody will know: The Secret Garden. The young boy in it who can't walk and all of that, he thinks he has a hump on his back. If you haven't seen the movie, you have to see it. It's a classic. But anyway, he stays inside all the time and lies in bed and says, oh, I'm ill, but there's really nothing wrong with him. He just never gets outside and gets some exercise. And that's what I'm saying, and that's an extreme form of a distorted reality for these children. And I just think that they turn into people that don't know how to function normally. That we create so many of these diseases that are, these social disorders and chemical imbalances in our brain. So yes, they are real, but if you know how to experience life, I think that you can conquer that if you have your own. If you had a good childhood, I think childhood is so essential, and I just wish that there was something we could do to improve the quality of Child's Play, because it's getting so pampered, so padded, that it's just not even worth it anymore. Might take my kids to Africa when I have them, and play in the desert, because there's nowhere else to have them. I don't know. Maybe I live in a little suburb that's just extreme for that, but give me your insight. Am I on the right track? Cheers.